All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. Will the Dow become the next Caracas Stock Exchange? Possibly, if we don't get our act together. Now, before we begin, just want to say I am Black Bullion. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please also like the video to help get this economic evangelism out there to the masses. And it also helps the YouTube algorithm recommend it to others. And also, if you want to just check out a quick description of the video, check it out in the link or in the description below without having to watch the full video. Now, let's get started. I want to give a proper shout out to Carly Darwin. She's holding me to this, holding my feet to the fire, and I'm up for the challenge. I shouted her out in a previous video and I messed up her name, so I want to actually correct that here and be a stand-up guy and say shout out to Carly Darwin. Also, I'm going to shout out Philip Quinn for sparking the idea for this video. In a previous video, he commented, "Isn't the Venezuelan stock exchange at an all-time high? And the people are starving. Dollar will be worthless regardless." And then I said, you know what, I'm going to try to follow the breadcrumbs here and I'm going to look into it and see, what I can find. And I found some interesting information here, particularly from this website called MarionWest.com, who wrote an article called "Venezuela Provides an Unlikely Investing Lesson." And I'm just going to read a bit of it here to give you guys an idea of what Philip Quinn was referencing. So here it goes. Venezuela's premier stock exchange, Caracas Stock Exchange, was the world's best performing stock market last year. Now, this was written back in 2019, so he's referring to 2018. Anyone familiar with Venezuela's economic troubles might be stunned to hear that the stock exchange of a country run by an old school socialist regime gained 114% in 2016. The Dow recorded a gain of 13% for the same period. The curious case of the Venezuelan public equities market is a prime example of why it can be misleading to use stock markets as indicators for economic performance. I'm going to stop right there because I just want to clarify that that is what the majority of Americans do when they look at the Dow and they look at the S&P 500. They look at that and say, oh, in the green, I guess the economy is good, right? Even Donald Trump himself will constantly show and highlight the numbers on the Dow, which unfortunately is looking at the trees for the forest. Obviously you and I know, those of you who have been following this channel for a while know that there's a lot more going on under the hood that the Dow and the S&P 500, the NASDAQ and others don't show. So the article continues. Most economists agree that Venezuela's economy is in turmoil and that there is no end in sight. The real reason behind the market's astronomical rise has little to do with the ebullient investor sentiment, but instead is one of the symptoms of the government's inflationary monetary policy. Sounds familiar, right? It continues. In short, owners of the country's currency protected themselves from the currency's severe devaluation by exchanging their bolivars for seemingly safer assets, including stocks. With huge volumes of money pouring in, the stock market artificially inflated. Well, aren't we living in what Mike Maloney calls, prior to this issue, we had an almost everything bubble where so many assets were just overly inflated. Let's continue and end this off here with the last paragraph. But Venezuela's irrational stock market is no exception. History has demonstrated that in the United States, markets can reach sky-high levels even when key economic indicators such as unemployment and corporate profits suggest otherwise. Many wise men have pondered on why these market distortions occur, but have arrived with few helpful answers except that people are irrational. Now, that is 100% true. People are irrational, and just like in the last paragraph, it says, forget economic indicators like unemployment and corporate profits because that doesn't matter anymore. And it's crazy because you know profit to earnings ratios, PE ratios are just insane right now. Unemployment numbers within the last month of April have been insane, the craziest in the history of the Bureau of Labor Statistics as they've been looking at non-farm payroll jobs. We broke a record in April, and yet the Dow, the S&P 500, Nasdaq, Russell 2000, all in the green on Friday of May 8th, 2008, when that non-farm payroll, those numbers came out. So, obviously, Venezuela is a very unique situation, or very unique case. We have our own unique situation, obviously, but inflationary monetary policy is what we're doing right now. Unemployment seems to not matter to us. Corporate profit seems to not matter to us. It just makes you wonder, well, what is the fate of the US economy? And, if we do become like Venezuela, will the Dow reflect, a similar pattern to the Caracas Stock Exchange while the American public is just struggling? And, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. When people say Dow to 30,000, Dow to 100,000, Dow to a million, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Do you think that we might have a similar fate? Or I should say, do you think the Dow and equities indices will have similar fates to the Caracas Stock Exchange? Should inflationary monetary policies continue to be exacerbated in the future? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Please give the video a like. Please subscribe if you are new. It's Black Bullion.